Hello and welcome to a very special edition of Young Africa Connects, coming to you live from Agri-Food Systems Forum 2025. I am Maimouna Dembele and I am thrilled to be your host today. This monthly series, brought to you by the MasterCard Foundation through Young Africa Works, is a space where Africa's youth come together to share ideas, celebrate achievements, and build dignified futures. Today's theme is Africa's youth leading collaboration, innovation, and implementation of agri-food systems transformation. With millions of young Africans entering to workforce each year, agriculture is not just a necessity, it's a massive opportunity. We're joined by a phenomenal panel of young agripreneurs and change makers who are transforming food systems across the continent. And now let's meet the brilliant minds joining us today from Dakar, Senegal, young agripreneurs who are not only transforming food systems, but also redefining what leadership looks like across the continent. First up, we have Nana Kusi Apia, founder and CEO of Ghana Fert Limited, based in Ghana. Hello, Nana.
Hello, Maimouna.
Welcome to Senegal.
Thank you very much.
How is Senegal treating you?
So far, so good. I'm loving the city.
Can you tell us more in 2 words about what you do?
Okay, great. So, my name is Nana Kusi. I'm from Ghana. And then at Ghana Fert Limited, we are into organic fertilizer production. Now, you might be wondering the inspiration behind organic fertilizer. There are lots and a chunk of organic foods generated per day in Ghana. So we had to actually find a way to curate all these waste and then transform it to something very useful for the people. And that's why there are lots of implications when it comes to chemical fertilizer in Ghana. So we decided to bridge these gaps, collect all these waste, and then transform it to organic fertilizer for smallholder farmers to use.
All right, awesome. Representing Uganda, the beautiful Anthea Ibempe, Chief Operating Officer of Apati Company Limited. How are you?
I'm fine, my
You're good?
Yes.
Do you have some tea for us today?
Actually, it all sold out yesterday at the exhibition, but you know, I will domicile some for you next time.
Tell us more about your business.
So we are the leading tea and herbal manufacturer in Uganda. We've been in the business since 2011. It began as a passion project for my dad. And then he said, if you want to do this and you want to carry it on, make this your legacy. I said, yeah, for sure. I'll see what to do with this. And we've been doing this. We began with one flavor. That's our flagship flavor, lemongrass. But we have since expanded to 10 flavors. And we are selling in over 100 retailers around Uganda. But we are looking to sell to the whole of Africa now. We're looking at the rest of the world now.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. So I hope that in a couple of months, I'll be able to find the tea in Senegal.
From the looks of it, you will kill me if you don't.
Well, welcome.
Thank
It's great
you.
to have you.
Beautiful country.
From Kenya, we have Benson Wendo, and Benson is founder and CEO of Soko Kijiji.
Yes.
What does Kijiji mean?
Kijiji means village. Soko means market.
Okay.
Yep.
So what's the market in the village, or the village market?
The village market, correct as you say, the village market, it's all about digitizing open air markets. So we enable small scale women traders to sell through the e-commerce platform. So we build a digital ecosystem, partnering the number of e-commerce platforms across Nairobi and Mombasa. Also offering an end-to-end solution from farm to market to consumer by just leveraging on technology. It's actually a business that we started during the COVID period with just one tweet. Today we have hit about 10 million orders on our platform and growing.
Wow, that's amazing.
Thank you.
That's amazing. And coming from Tema, Ghana, we have Bernice Yawo. Bernice, you're the founder of VJ's Mushrooms. Can you tell us more?
Yeah, so Vijay's Mushroom, it's a business I started early this year. It's a mushroom production company where we bring sawdust, which is a byproduct from the used wood. The people who do woodwork, and with sawdust, mostly they put fire in it and then it releases toxic smoke into the environment, which is not safe. So we bring it together with other products, and then we are able to convert it into compost and produce healthy mushrooms in it. So that means the sawdust, which is supposed to be waste, we are able to convert it into mushrooms that give people the protein that they need. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. And last but not least, from the land of Teranga, we have Nafissatou Touré, Debo Enterprise. Salam alaikum Nafissatou.
Alaikum salam.
Comment vas-tu?
Ça va, je vais bien.
Tu peux nous parler un peu plus de Debo Touré?
Oui. Moi, c'est Nafissatou Touré, fondatrice de l'entreprise Debo Enterprise. Debo Enterprise, qui est une entreprise qui évolue dans la transformation d'arachide en produit fini, en pâte d'arachide, poudre d'arachide, et un produit qui est très bien aimé par la population et qui nous rappelle à chaque fois notre enfance, qui est le mbouraké, et aussi des chips enrobés de pâte d'arachide très nutritifs pour la santé des enfants.
Mais c'est super ça. J'espère que le forum s'est bien passé pour toi.
Oui, ça fait très bien passer.
De belles perspectives
De belles
pour Debo.
perspectives, de belles opportunités, mais aussi de belles rencontres.
Super. What a lineup. Each of these leaders bring unique story, a bold vision, and a commitment to transforming agriculture in Africa. So we'll dive into the conversation, but I just want to remind you that I have a co-host, a sign language interpreter, and her name is Rose Omolo. So that's the sign language interpreter. Africa's youth are being called the engine of agri-food, and we've seen it during the opening of the forum with President Kagame and President Bassirou Diomaye Faye. From your perspective, and this is a question for all of you, what is the biggest opportunity for young people on the continent in shaping resilient and inclusive food systems? I'm going to start with you, Nana.
Sure. So I have a lot of opportunities I would like to share, but I'll just hammer on the first two. The first one is post-harvest solutions. It's one of the biggest opportunities out there. Young people can actually grab into it and then make sure we have a resilient food system in Africa. When you realize most of the smallholder farmers in Ghana, probably across Africa, mostly focus on the flood and the production. So during the rainy season and then everybody gets to go, there's a lot of abundance of food. And then after that, what happens is when there's abundance of food, most of them are being probably left to the door. I mean, when there's a lot, people don't get to eat and then they are left, especially the vegetables like tomato, onions, they get to, get spoiled. So if we have a system where we can actually track all this food and then keep it for a very long time, some of our staple foods, when it gets to some time, you cannot even get some to eat again. For example, plantain, cassava, all those foods. So if you have a preservation system, which helps us to store all these food, trust me, Africa, there'll be nothing like food insecurity in Africa. And as well, most importantly, the waste management sector. It's a very young sector. Myself and other people can't do it alone. We need more young people also to get into that sector as well. And then finally, tech being the bridge between all these sectors. So we need more tech survey people, entrepreneurs, to also come in together to build a bridge where all these businesses connect, just like my brother is doing in Kenya.
Yeah. Well, since you mentioned your brother, I want to hear your thoughts on that, Benson.
Yes, I think, it's the right time as a young person to venture into agriculture. There are a number of reasons to that. One, I would say that, of course, technology that is there. There's a lot of penetration when it comes to technology. And there are a number of ways that one can do it, either from farm or farm to the market as well. So whether you're either as a trader or as a farmer, that's one of the opportunities that you can be able to do. The other part I would like to say is that the guys who have gone ahead of us have done a lot of research, either in production, either in planting and all those kind of things. Those are things that we can also pick up. So one, I would say that the opportunity is big. And plus, again, by 2050, the population in Africa will have grown tremendously. So it's one of the areas that we like also to tap into. And the other bit I'd like also to say, it's the Africa free trade area that actually leaders in Africa are trying to put it together. That's another big opportunity that is going to open up the market in Africa so that I can be able to trade from Kenya to Senegal without a lot of barriers or without a lot of restrictions around it. So the opportunities are huge for us to tap into.
Thank you. Bernice, your thoughts?
So I would say the involvement and advocacy for inclusion, that everybody should come together so that we drive this force of transformation and including everybody, especially persons with disabilities, smallholder farmers, women. I say the opportunity, the advocacy that is going on to include everybody. It's giving us the opportunity for that huge market that we all need. So I think it's one big opportunity that is going to help, leaving nobody behind.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Nafissatou, quelles sont aujourd'hui les opportunités sur lesquelles les jeunes Africains peuvent saisir? Quelles sont les opportunités qui sont déjà là, qui sont déjà existantes pour les jeunes entrepreneurs, surtout dans l'agriculture?
Déjà, l'État sénégalais, comme tous les États africains, commence vraiment à s'intéresser à l'agriculture, à l'innovation, mais aussi valorise surtout les projets portés par les jeunes, qui sont des projets très innovants, des projets qui ont beaucoup d'opportunités économiques, comme aussi des opportunités sociales, qui permettront aux jeunes d'avoir une insertion professionnelle, d'avoir aussi une autonomie économique, mais aussi sociale, et pouvoir aussi attirer les autres jeunes qui ont peur de réaliser leurs projets, qui ont peur de réaliser leurs rêves, de venir les rejoindre et de pouvoir saisir ces opportunités-là, afin de pouvoir participer aussi au développement, à la résilience des systèmes alimentaires, de par leurs innovations, par leurs idées brillantes, mais aussi de par leurs jeunes profits.
Tout à fait. And Thea?
I think for me, the opportunity I see is biased towards the work I do in the agribusiness value chain, and it would be value addition. I think value addition is a low-hanging fruit. Anybody can add value. You just really have to find the farmers and connect the farmers with the market. And I keep on telling people, retail is intimidating, but once you understand retail markets, and now in my case, once I understand export markets, the amount of money you can make is only up to your interest. So I think the lowest hanging fruit for how we can enter into the agri-food systems and support and remain, relevant players is through the value addition. But also I think there is a lot of opportunity in the professional world. Benson mentioned that there is research that has been done, but I still believe more research can be done. I still believe we need as many, for example, accountants, as many logistics partners as possible. So I have a lot of friends who are not exactly farmers. They're not manufacturers like myself, but they provide cold chain logistics for companies. And this is also a form of opportunity for the youth to participate in the agri-food systems of Africa.
Of course, and during the opening session, someone was saying that it's an entire ecosystem. Do not just think about agriculture as someone who goes on the field. There's the entire ecosystem. It's maybe when you take the value chain, it's maybe 50 people who are working in different sectors of agriculture.
In my president's words, he keeps on telling us, when you export coffee, the green bean, you miss out on 7 layers of jobs, 7 layers of employment. So this is exactly what I'm saying. Not all those people are coffee pickers, or this is the baristas, this is the people working in the roastery. So you are right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, amazing. Benson, Soko Kijiji, bridging the gap between farmers, markets, and consumers. How do you see the digital connectivity transforming food systems across the continent?
Well, I'd say it has a number of ways of doing that. One, let's start from the production side. Today you have the flying farmer from Nigeria who is using drones to monitor plants and crops. That's one of the areas that you're doing. Secondly, there's now the adoption of AI, that you can be able to track your produce from the farm when it's on the road all the way to the market. That also helps in doing traceability when it comes to the product. Then when you come to the market, where us guys we are as Soko Kijiji, you can be able to use different channels that someone does not have to come to the market for them to be able to get the produce, but they can actually be able to use their own mobile phones and order. Let's talk about the growing e-commerce market in Africa, which is growing at a very fast rate. So that's a big market, because nowadays you're seeing more and more people, they don't want to go to the brick and mortar stores. They want to use their mobile phones, want to create convenience. Secondly, as well, it's also, like I usually say, that the cities in Africa are growing, but the markets are not growing. So there's a lot of congestion. So how do we also decongest the markets so that even the systems or the facilities that are there, using technology, you can actually be able to relieve them from some of the pressure that they're facing. So that's one of the things that I would say we are using as technology, using it from the farm to the transportation bit of it, now to the distribution, I would say. And I hope that is also something that using the Africa free trade can be done, that I can be able to do that from any part of this continent.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Nafissatou, tu as monté une entreprise féminine, tu travailles avec des femmes, le leadership féminin, on parle beaucoup de women empowerment. Comment est-ce que tu vois ce women empowerment, surtout dans le domaine agricole? Toi qui es dans le business des arachides, en général, c'est un business entre guillemets destiné aux hommes. Comment est-ce que tu vois ce woman leadership-là et ce woman empowerment-là dans le domaine dans lequel tu es au Sénégal et aussi en Afrique?
Le leadership féminin est très important et participe aussi au développement des systèmes alimentaires. Notamment dans mon entreprise, j'ai que des employés femmes qui montrent à chaque fois leur capacité de faire, qui montrent aussi leur bravoure. De la production jusqu'à la transformation, c'est elles qui gèrent tout. De même aussi la commercialisation. Donc, et ça aussi, ça va leur faciliter l'inclusion économique, mais aussi ça leur permettra de pouvoir subvenir à leurs besoins, de pouvoir aider leurs enfants, surtout à aller à l'école. Parce que comme moi, je suis dans la zone rurale, on n'a pas l'habitude de voir les femmes être dans le milieu professionnel. En général, ce sont des femmes de ménage qui passent toute leur journée dans la maison à faire les tâches ménagères. Donc moi, quand je suis arrivée, je me suis dit que voilà, mon premier objectif sera d'aider les femmes à pouvoir s'activer, à pouvoir s'insérer dans une activité qui sera une activité génératrice de revenus, mais aussi cette activité-là leur permettra de s'occuper, de pouvoir aussi subvenir aux besoins de leur famille, aider leur mari, mais aussi pour contribuer à l'éducation de leurs enfants.
Super. Bernice, your agribusiness journey started with training support. So today, what message would you give to institutions and partners about investing in young people's capacity building?
So thank you very much for this question. And first of all, I'd like to say a big thank you to MasterCard Foundation for believing in me and giving me the skill that today I am using, and today I can call myself a CEO. So what I would like to tell other institutions is that they should try to involve themselves in supporting the less privileged, and especially the youth and the marginalized group, because it's through this opportunity, through this helps that today I've been able to build what I have today. Today I'll say I am financially stable and I can afford certain things through the help that was given to me, the potential that they have, like they saw in me and then they amplify it. So I would say institutions should come together and help. They should invest more, because there are people in the rural areas that it's not that they are lazy, but they just need that skill to keep them moving. They are willing, especially persons with disability, they are willing to have something doing for themselves. They don't want to be a burden. They don't want to be at the roadside begging for help. They just need the skills to be able to know that, okay, from this point, I'm moving to this point. And that's what MasterCard Foundation gave me. So I will beg other institutions to get involved with the help. Let's hold our hands and aid that chain.
That's a powerful message right there. That's a very powerful message. And I am sure that other institutions will hear you. Thank you for that message, Bernice. Nana, Ghana Fruit aims to become West Africa's most trusted fertilizer producer. Oh, yes, indeed. So what steps are you taking to expand regionally? But also, how can partnerships such as this forum accelerate that process for you?
Yeah, I saw Anthea laughing.
I know, right? Yes, we're getting there.
Definitely.
Most trusted fertilizer on the continent.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very big dream, but it's something which I believe it's achievable when the environment and everything is certainly in place. So we are looking at hyper-level production. You know, like I mentioned, the waste generated in Africa is huge. In surprise, more than 200,000 tons of food are generated daily in Africa. Maybe 200,000 tons might seem very little, but in terms of mass, we are looking at about the size of 11,000 buses. Just picture that in your mind. So we are targeting all these high waste generation areas, probably these land sites, to set up a hyper level production to actually collect all these waste. And then with that, we'll be able to produce more to meet the demands of the farmers in West Africa. That's why we are trying to build the trust at the farmer and the extension officer level. Because if you have the trust from the farmer, they will be willing to put all they have in your product and also outsource from you. And then as well, grow with the extension officer. What we do at Ghana First is we provide pruning services for farmers. Not every farmer can afford inputs, especially the smallholder farmer. So we train them to also be able to develop these inputs themselves through the stuff they just have at home. So with this kind of trust, we believe we can use that to enter other regions. And also the Africa Free Trade Area is also there, which we believe in tapping in. And also partnerships, because we have some of these bodies, fertilizer production bodies over here who are not being able to meet the demand they have. We are very open to have partnership conversations and see how we can also support them. Probably we produce for them and they can also sell to the farmers they can. So these are the three main strategies we are using to target the whole of West Africa. And after that, you can go globally.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
That's amazing. Ashia, your tea company blends tradition with innovation. How can other African agribusinesses follow your organization as an example, balancing between cultural heritage but with global competitiveness?
I believe other companies, first and foremost, I believe in the simplest of recipes. I believe simple recipes are always the best. Everything you like, sushi, for example, is really just fish and rice.
That's it.
It's same with my tea. So I believe that the best products that we are able to make from Africa they can come from your kitchen. I could think of 70,000 products, but that's because I've been in the space of thinking. I could think of 70,000 products that could come out of, for example, a moringa leaf. So I think if youth can think of it in the perspective that anything can be added value to, and even the simplest of recipes will be bought on the market. I will never forget when I had just joined this company with my dad, and I used to tell him, I'm like, oh, but do you think anyone is going to buy chai masala? There's already chai masala. Actually, chai masala may be the wrong one. Do you think anybody is going to buy hibiscus tea? There's already hibiscus tea on the market. It's like, you'll be so surprised. You'll be so surprised. People will pick it up. Today, hibiscus tea is one of our better performing brands. So what's my message? My message is even the simplest of recipes has a place on the market. Anything, any product can be the base of value addition. Still to my earlier point. So you just have to figure out what does the market need, who's willing to try, and how much money do they have, and how often will they keep buying. Just that. Yes.
Wow, awesome. Benson,
Yep.
access to finance, access to technology, access to markets remains a challenge for many agripreneurs, especially young agripreneurs. What systemic changes are needed to unlock these barriers for young business people?
One, I would say, let me start with access to finance. Access to finance, I would say, one is to make it easy for young people to get it. And once they get it, don't give them small bits. If we are really talking about transforming Africa, we should empower young people to build factories. We should empower them to build production warehouses and systems and all that, you know. And so that at least you're able to finance a business and finance it well. So if it's capital, give good capital, not just few dollars and then expect the guy to really make it, no. So I'd also challenge the development partners, the government, and even other private investors. Let's be serious when we talk about building, especially in the agricultural sector. Some of the processing plants that young people want to build, they need money and they need huge capital. So it could be capital that probably would help us build a factory, would help us build a processing unit, so that we're able now to really cause a transformation. We keep talking about things about value addition. You can do value addition, yes, from your kitchen, but for you to be able to attract bigger market, you need a bigger factory, you need a bigger machinery and all that. I'm happy I've seen, for example, in Kenya, our government has been trying to put together processing zones around the country so that also young people can also have access. But sometimes it's difficult even for the young people to have access because it's left for the big boys, the big players. Yeah. The other bit I would also like to say is also the market as well. Make the market fair. I would like to get into commodity trading. For example, I'd like to trade between getting my soya from Malawi to Kenya, yeah, or even getting my peanuts from Malawi to Kenya, maize from Tanzania, from all those kind of things. But how can you support a young person to be able to access better markets? The European market, for example, the export market again has been left to a few players. How can we help also young people be able now to access with their products? You can be able to do that, and also that could also maybe come from the government. If the government is able to champion for our products across the country, across the world. For example, our embassy, let's say in China, has a list of our companies by young people, and they're able to connect those trade deals between us as countries. Those are some of the things that we would call in for one. Make sure the finance is good. Secondly, we are talking about the market, so there will also be something else, and also maybe challenge to our leaders as well. Make Africa free trade work.
Yes, indeed.
Make it work.
Yes,
let it be seamless for me to send stuff, and that's the only way that we are going to grow as a continent. Yeah, especially at the border levels. Make it seamless. I mean, we are one people. When I came to Senegal, I'm seeing some people who look like Kenyans, because we are one people, we are one continent.
To you, exactly.
Yeah,
people would speak Wolof to you, saying, "Hey,
yes,
you're Senegalese."
And they're somehow connecting.
Yes, indeed.
And I pray one day, for example, probably we'll also have one language as a whole continent so that we're able to trade. But I know probably the young people, as you said, we are not waiting. We're already on the move.
That's what I love about Africa's youth and creativity. They're not waiting
We
for
go before the
governments.
government.
Exactly.
Yes, we're already on the move.
And I think
That's
it has
amazing.
some value in that, because if we go before them, and this is what I've been advocating for co-creation of what the
Yes.
policies for us. Don't sit in a boardroom and make a policy for us. Come and ask us, what do you think?
Talk to us
What
first.
would work?
Exactly.
Because
Yes.
we know something.
Yeah. No, that's a good point, because President Jomai, during the town hall forum, he said it. He said, make sure you're at those tables. Do not allow the governments to make decisions for you if you are not there. And that's the truth.
Yeah. Invite us in those ministerial discussions.
Perfect.
Put us there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree.
Maimuna, to touch a bit on
Sure.
yes, on the financing aspect he mentioned. I'm a very big advocate when it comes to women empowerment. Let's ask ourselves, how many women-led businesses in Africa have been able to raise more than $1 million in funding? Just look at the criteria. It looks like a boys convening. Just see one woman last. It's about time we channel a lot of energy into women empowerment. Because if we are able to bridge the gap between man and woman, where we level the playing field, research from McKinsey shows we can actually increase global GDP to about $12 trillion. So it's about time we empower our women to do more. Because in Ghana, we have more women starting businesses in Ghana than men.
Yeah.
So why don't we empower them? Let's not look at them as micro.
Yes.
Give them 5,000. No, empower them.
Yes.
That's 5 million, 10 million. Just take the bet on them and let's see how far they can go.
Yes.
Thank you for being a he for she. And that's amazing. So congratulations to MasterCard Foundation. We
Yes.
have 3 CEOs here,
Oh, that's
3
great.
women between 2 men. So congrats to
sure,
MasterCard
thank you.
Foundation. But I totally agree with you. I mean, we all know what women can do on this continent. When you look back in the 60s and 70s, our mothers, the Nana Bens, I mean, they used to make millions just by selling fabric,
Yeah.
So yes, I totally agree with you, and I hate that word is buried by our leaders. Afisatou, je reviens à toi et je voudrais me demander, c'est-à-dire à part le fait que tu sois entrepreneur, tu es aussi mentor. Tu mentors des jeunes. Pour toi, pourquoi c'était important d'être mentor de ces jeunes-là et comment est-ce que tu vois l'avenir de l'agro-business avec ces jeunes-là que tu es en train de mentorer?
Alors, j'ai jugé très nécessaire d'être mentor parce que j'ai vu beaucoup de jeunes, après leur diplôme, après avoir obtenu leur diplôme, et attendre l'insertion professionnelle de par les autorités, de par l'État. Donc, je me suis dit que, voilà, il faut les sensibiliser à favoriser l'entrepreneuriat, effectivement l'agrobusiness, à pouvoir mettre en place des projets qui auront un avenir prometteur, qui auront aussi des opportunités économiques et aussi sociales, qui leur permettront de pouvoir s'activer, de pouvoir participer au développement de leur pays, mais aussi de pouvoir subvenir aux besoins de leur famille. Et ça, j'ai jugé nécessaire de vraiment donner des conseils, mais aussi de partager mes expériences, partager les défis que j'ai relevés, partager aussi les difficultés qu'on s'est fait face. Parce que c'est pas du tout facile d'entreprendre. Il y a toujours des défis à relever, mais aussi il y a toujours des difficultés qui peuvent parfois bloquer.
Effectivement.
Mais il faut avoir toujours le courage de relever ces défis-là, avoir le courage de montrer aux personnes qui ne croient pas à toi, mais aux personnes aussi qui ne pensent pas que la jeunesse peut aller toute seule, de par l'agro-business, de montrer ses preuves. Montrer ses preuves, ça veut dire à chaque fois d'essayer d'évoluer dans le secteur urbain. Comme moi, auparavant, comme j'ai eu la licence en transformation agroalimentaire, et je suis aussi qualiticienne, au début, quand je commençais à faire la transformation, après mon stage, quand j'ai commencé à faire la transformation de pâte d'arachide, les membres de mon quartier disaient à ma mère, mais toi, pourquoi tu laisses ta fille faire des transformations de dégués? Elle a déjà eu son diplôme. Elle a obtenu sa licence.
Ouais.
Ma mère les a dit que déjà son domaine d'activité, et aussi c'est une passion pour elle, et aussi elle a envie de donner à sa population des produits de très bonne qualité. Et à partir de là, voilà, j'ai pu aussi développer mes idées. Et jusqu'à présent, Dieu merci, j'arrive vraiment à atteindre certains de mes objectifs, même si ce n'est pas facile. Et à certains gens qui voient ça, je les motive. De loin ou de près, je les motive. Ils ont aussi envie de faire comme moi.
Bien sûr.
Voilà. Ils ont aussi envie de montrer.
Parce qu'ils ont un exemple, en fait.
Voilà,
et c'est important d'avoir un exemple. Quand ils voient, ils y croient.
Et aussi, ils disent que voilà, une femme, tu dois être autonome, ce ne sera pas possible. Quand est-ce qu'il va te voir, je dis que voilà, j'ai mes objectifs. J'ai des grands frères qui suivent à mes besoins, mais ça ne suffit pas. J'ai besoin d'être autonome économiquement. J'ai besoin aussi d'aider les femmes de mon quartier, les femmes de ma localité qui n'ont pas la chance d'avoir la chance que j'ai. Donc, je dis, c'est pour ça, à chaque fois, je dis aux jeunes de ne pas se précipiter, d'être patient, de ne pas prioriser aussi l'argent.
Effectivement.
Parce que quand on dit l'entrepreneuriat, l'agrobusiness, il faut start à tout.
Tout à fait. Tout à fait. Et il faut être résilient. Il faut être très résilient.
Effectivement. Parce que c'est pas que, voilà, tu arrives à commercialiser tes produits, tu arrives à avoir de la visibilité, que tu vas forcément avoir de l'argent.
Tout à fait.
Il y a des choses qui sont là. Il y a les finances qui sont là. Il y a aussi les équipements qui sont là. Et quand on parle de qualité, voilà, on parle automatiquement de matériel parce qu'on ne peut pas avoir des produits de bonne qualité sans avoir des matériels adéquats. Voilà. Et moi, je suis qualiticienne, donc je ne peux pas me permettre de donner à ma population des produits qui n'ont pas de qualité. Donc, à tous les jeunes, croyez en vous. Vous pouvez commencer petit à petit et avec beaucoup de courage, de force et de volonté, vous pouvez parvenir à bon fin.
Très beau message. Bernice, how do you see mushroom farming contributing to Africa's food security and nutrition goals?
So, thank you. After my training, I did a little research about mushroom, especially oyster mushroom that I was trained upon. And the findings that I made me understand mushrooms have nutrition content like antioxidants, anti-inflammation, immune system booster, very good for the heart, very good for the brain. So I noticed that it's a source of protein that gives all these benefits. And I realized when people add it or inculcate it into their meals, it's going to help a long way to preserve their health. Because this is a source of protein for people who are vegetarian, people who are lactose intolerant. And I realized that it has the market, and it can help the economy. It can, help preserve people when they go much into mushroom. And now people are waking up, people are getting more concerned with their health. So it's a good source for elderly people who are watching their health not to consume too much protein like meat, egg. There are advocates that too much meat gives you the cholesterol. So whoever is watching his or her health will be like, okay, let me take mushrooms, which are less fat in your diet.
Yeah.
So I think mushroom is going a long way to help the population in general.
Awesome.
Can I supplement?
Yeah,
something
sure.
to
Of
that?
course. Of course.
I think I was talking to someone about this in the morning.
Yeah.
That a well-fed and a well-fed population with the right nutrients can then begin to also care about other stuff.
That's true.
We cannot care about climate action if we are hungry or malnourished. Yeah. So it just came to me this morning.
That's
I
true.
thought to myself, actually, agri-food systems is the foundation before we can begin to care about any.
Of course. I
After
totally
I'm
agree.
great, I will care about my education.
Exactly.
I will care about
Yep.
conserving the environment. I will love the environment because it feeds me.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's true. I totally agree.
Minus this point.
Thank you. Thank you for that. And I'm staying with you, Anthea, and I wanted to ask you, as a company supporting smallholder farmers and striving to elevate livelihoods, what strategies have worked for you in making sure the solutions and outcome are sustainable?
I would say what strategy has worked for us, it's working with aggregators actually. And this is where I say, find your place in the value chain and stay there. In the start, we wanted to reach the smallholder farmers ourselves, but we were burnt out. We were stretched thin. Because Uganda is a white country. It's small in comparison to Kenya. Don't tell Benson.
Yeah, I won't tell him.
But if you are picking some tea from Kopoto and another, the east, the west, you will lose a lot in profits coming from all sides. So the best way we have found to really give value is to work with aggregators. And we didn't know that in the start, we wanted to touch the smallholder farmers ourselves, but the aggregators have really, really supported us in they kind of new skip for us in that way, and they bring to us and we start from our point in the value chain and go until the market now. We don't even go as far as a customer. We just take to the wholesalers, retailers, and we found our place in the value chain. That was I think that would be the biggest learning we have made, and it has enabled us to even trace that it was such a make. Because we are dealing with aggregators who pick particularly from one region, we can say, oh, for every dollar that we pay to you, in this community, it has contributed in this way. Wow. This is how we were able to find the impact stories of the smallholder farmers that we work with. Like, I will put it in context. In Uganda, 90 factories closed last year. But what does it mean for a tea factory to close? It means that thousands of jobs have been lost in each estate because tea, it's a micro ecosystem on its own. In a tea estate, you've got schools, you've got hospitals, you've got that kind of thing. The one of the few that survived are the ones that we buy for, right? So we are able to trace our impact, and sometimes even from a marketing perspective, traceability is very important. I think even for Nana, he would say in the West, in this traceability now is not just a trend, it's becoming very important. But just to go back to your point, working with aggregators and staying at our place in the value chain has enabled us to continue with delivering sustainable impact to the smallholder farmers selected.
Yeah. That's amazing. That's amazing. Wow. And this is a question for all of you. Looking at 2030, which is right around the corner, and beyond, what's one bold commitment or action do you believe Africa's youth must push for now to secure the continent's food and nutrition future? One bold commitment.
One
from the
bold
youth.
commitment for the youth, I would say one, it's know that 2030, we won't wake ourselves 2030. It's actually happening. So wake up that part that it's not waiting, it's happening. So we need to get ourselves out there working. We need to get ourselves hopeful. Another bit is that we are not waiting for anyone to come help us out. We have to figure this out as Africans, as the African youth, because the future is not waiting. The future is already here.
That's true. It's happening.
That's what I would say.
Thank you. Bernice?
So I would say, no matter what you do, get yourself involved in the agri-entrepreneurship chain. Maybe it can be a teacher, a doctor, a nurse. At least, let's start with backyard garden. Something small to ensure that food security. If we are all trying something, getting involved, it can be agri-transportation, it can be agri-tech. Let's all get involved so that by 2030, when we all have something doing, the hunger will be less. We can drive away hunger if we all have something we are doing to support food security. Thank you.
Nana?
Well, I would tell the youths and then everybody to take charge. Sovereignty is very, very important. Let's start developing taste for our local products. Because in Africa, we spend a chunk of money on importing good food into our country, into the continent, sorry. Because, I mean, just last year, we spent more than $60 billion on just importation.
That's a lot.
Just imagine, we have all the good soils over here. We can actually grow every single food on the soil.
What's the line?
So if we start developing taste for our local food, trust me, all this money will stay in the continent, and then that is where we'll get to see we are actually taking charge. So let's start developing taste for locally produced food.
Yeah.
That is one thing I'm telling you.
Yeah.
He stole my point. You didn't steal my point. It's a
Just
Take
touch on
it.
it.
Yes, indeed. I must be doing twice.
And it's really just to add to Nana's point. Buy local, keep it simple. With everything that you eat, I recently found out, because I'm only now learning about nutrition at the big age of 28. I only found out that anything that's above 5 ingredients, you really should not be eating them, right? No. So to add to Nana's point, why would you take your money and buy a snack from abroad when you can eat peanuts? Exactly. Here, like exactly. Yep. As I totally around, I bought peanuts from Uganda, and everybody is like, "Oh, give me some of those peanuts." He tasted them. So buy local. Don't rush so much for genetically modified inputs, genetically modified snacks, genetically modified anything. Try as much as possible to keep it simple, because the most nutritious things are growing here. Yes, indeed. We need your dollars back here. Instead of going and making Nestle wealthy by buying formula, goat milk is even better for your children's nutrition. So it would be to buy local, keep it simple. And in Uganda, we have something we call Buy Uganda.
Buy Uganda, Bubu. Bubu. That's beautifully said. Nafissatou, d'ici 2030, alors quel est cet engagement-là que les jeunes devraient prendre pour qu'on puisse sécuriser notre alimentation? Comme disait Antia tout de suite, elle dit acheter local et rester simple dans ce que vous mangez. Pour toi, ce serait quoi?
C'est que les jeunes s'investissent davantage dans la sécurité alimentaire.
Oui.
Dans la sécurité alimentaire, ça veut dire c'est eux qui sont des porteurs de projets innovants, projets de plus en. Et ces projets innovants-là nous permettent d'avoir des produits très innovants, aussi des produits très sains, si je veux dire, de la production, de la logistique, de la transformation jusqu'à la commercialisation. Et ça, ce qui nous permet de l'avoir, c'est l'information, mais aussi l'éducation.
Tout à fait.
Parce que les jeunes s'investissent davantage sur l'éducation du système agronomique, mais aussi du système de la transformation alimentaire. Donc, et comme on le voit, comment le climat s'améliore, mais comment aussi les changements climatiques affectent nos produits agricoles depuis les champs, les jeunes doivent s'engager à s'intéresser davantage au système agroalimentaire, mais aussi au système agronomique. Et ça pourra vraiment apporté beaucoup de succès sur les systèmes alimentaires, mais aussi sur l'obtention et l'accessibilité des produits de très bonne qualité.
Tout à fait. On doit malheureusement clore cette conversation. We have to wrap up. Mais 2 mots pour la jeunesse africaine, 2 mots, 2 words for Africa's youth. Je commence avec toi, Nafissatou. 2 words.
Engagement et motivation.
Engagement et motivation.
Don't wait.
Don't wait. I love that. Bernice,
Get involved.
get involved. I love it.
Well, mine is not to the African youth, but then to African investors. I'll make it 6 ways. Never look down on any business.
Never look down on any business. I agree.
Local and simple.
Local and simple. I love it even better. Thank you. Thank you for an amazing conversation. That's a wrap from Young Africa Connects. It was a special edition live from the Africa Food System Forum here in Diamniadio, Dakar, Senegal. Thank you for your inspiring words. It was a very inspiring panel. Thank you to MasterCard Foundation for bringing this conversation live from Senegal. Stay connected, stay bold, and keep building dignified futures. Let's keep it simple. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Merci, Yeki.